Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the MavWar Unity Hype 2018 tournament. This is game 14, Thinking versus Navi. I am here today with Technobeaver. How are you doing today, Techno?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be back after game 13 when Infected Minds crushed the other team Bagels. And as you said before, we do have Thinking versus Navi. I'm very excited to see how this game goes down. Fun fact, I actually thought when we originally said this was Team Navi that this was the CSGO Team Navi, but no, my hopes were kind of crushed. I'm a big CSGO Navi fan, so kind of hurt, but I'm still very excited. I'm going to be rooting for Navi just because they're called Navi. Game's going to be...
I apologize for that. The team is called Natus Vincere, but I'm just saying Navi for convenience. Looks like we are going to go right into it. Thinking on the Survivor side, consisting of Team Captain Hydra, Brittany, M, and Rain. That may be either Sick or Josephine, I'm not sure. And on Navi's side, we have Buddy, Team Captain Disco, Nevermore, and Tubar, that boy.
Absolutely. So the 4 survivors are going to be taking it very slow. Looks like they're going inside, waiting to see if these infected will spawn. We do have a hunter spawned in, pre-spawned on the roof. We have a boomer getting in position outside. We also have a smoker getting in position outside. Another one on top of the roof the survivors are on. I wonder how this play is going to go down. The infected... Oh, looks like the survivors are going to be starting to clear the outside of Common, still working their way inside. They're going upstairs to look for more items and to just clear out more Common.
Yeah, this is an add-on campaign carried off as an unofficial campaign. That means the strats and the spawns are not exactly set in stone. There's a lot more improvisation going on. We do have a single boom going out onto M. She's going to duck back inside. Not a ton of horde going on there. They can go outside, pop her. A smoker does pull Nick for a second there. Hunter gets heated. The second hunter briefly lands onto Nick. Onto Ellis, but gets cleared. However, Coach does get pulled, and in the process of clearing him, they do activate a car alarm.
Yeah, so that I think that was a pretty good first play for Team Navi. Of course, they did do a good amount of damage, and they did manage to get the car alarm off, so that's going to keep them at bay for now, slow them down a little bit. The survivors are going to start making their way down this bridge, and this might be a good chance if they can get a charger, or in this case a jockey. They might be able to pull someone off this bridge and slow them down even further or get an end cap, so we'll see what happens here.
Yep, and it is worth mentioning this tank is at 75%, which means that we're not going to be seeing a tank out here in this big open road area, which I think is preferable for the infected bros. We do have a jockey and a hunter going in onto Coach. The jockey's going to get shut down. The hunter's going to jump up around the back of this truck. Gets just a little bit. Boomer goes out but gets popped immediately. Hunter gets seated. Spitter gets shut down beautifully.
Yeah, very good play from the survivors there. They shut down the infected attack. I don't think they did a single point of damage, and the survivors are going to be able to move forward through the Cedar Park very easily. Looks like they're doing a boost over the fence. Okay, I did not know that was possible on this map, but that's incredible. Okay, they're going to be heading down. Infected are starting to spawn in again. We've got a smoker, a boomer, a hunter, and a jockey. And survivors are going to be starting to move their way inside this warehouse as the infected start to set up as well.
This switch is up aggro just a little bit. We've already got a smoker looking for a pull, but all of the survivors are going to stay outside. This is a pretty precarious position. She's in a bad spot with music. We're probably going to have to draw. They do get the aggro on her. Boomer gets down, but it's nothing to find on. Hunter loads onto Coach just for a second. That witch is climbing up, making her way outside. Ellis is going to try to go for the crown, but misses, just barely avoiding swipe there. He almost got aggroed himself. The smoker's going to try to get a last second pull, but gets cleared.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very surprised that Ellis did not get hit by the witch. I thought he was going to go down there for a second. But either way, survivors are going to make their way outside of that warehouse outside right now. Looks like we've got a spitter and a charger and then 2 more infected about to spawn in. Tank has just spawned in pretty far away. I wonder what he's going to do here. He is on the highway. Looks like he's starting to move his way over to the survivors. Should we go to a war room?
Absolutely. We're going to kick this over to an infected war room. Tank in the hands of Tubar.
This,
Just get out. Just kill your spitter, buddy.
yeah, just climb up on the roof. And then you can go to the other side of the roof, is cutting them off. Yeah, that way. so there's no way they're gonna commit. They're just gonna take it in here.
We should set up on the other side in case they want to push out. I'll set up outside. We have a smoker. Fuck, well, we can't sack that, so.
Yeah.
Get a boomer? Okay, whatever, that works.
I'll try to smoke early for you.
Get in the early corner, dude.
Alright. Ready?
Yeah.
There, boy.
Aw.
Can we help him, buddy?
Help him. Wait, fell into it. Oh, we get him when he gets up.
There,
On your back too. Melee. Ooh. Come on.
Alrighty there, that was the tank play coming out of Navi. He did an okay job, I felt. He did commit, and you know, he did have the support, but he didn't do a whole ton of damage there. He did manage to knock Ellis down pretty far, and the Infected were able to get a double boom there. But overall, pretty average play, I would say. Pretty decent, and Survivor's going to start to move their way up down this highway as the Infected begin to spawn in again.
Yeah, not a ton of damage coming out from that tank, but this is a no return drop right beyond this white truck, which could lead to a potentially, you know, crippling hit if the Infected manage to get some sort of separation. Survivor's got to be careful here. We've got Rain up ahead, looking to clear out some commons. They do have a Spitter, Charger, Smoker, Hunter. A lot of separation potential there, but it's all going to come down to whether the Infected can spawn quickly enough and get some separation. Shot gets pulled and charged into Spit, but unfortunately the Charger gets cleared immediately. Hunter lands briefly onto Coach gets cleared. Looks like Thinking is going to make the safe room with a nice amount of bonus. 3 green survivors, 3 pills. Brittany is the only bleeder, although the Infected may just have time for one last hit. Actually, no, I don't.
No, that's going to be it for this round, I think. Very good round from Thinking there. They did get a lot of health bonus. They managed to play through the Infected. I think they did a great job defending themselves from the tank. Overall, very strong play coming out of Thinking. And again, I am rooting for Navi just because I'm a CSGO fan, but even though they're not the CSGO fan. But we'll have to see what they can do on this round. I'm excited to see what they'll be able to take off as survivors.
We are going to go live now. Navi on the Survivor side, Team Captain Disco. Looks like they're going to move into this building identical to what they did as they were.
Yeah, so the Smoker did try to get a pull. He did miss his attack, though, and now it looks like the Smoker's going to be starting to push in. Hunter on top of the roof right now, and a Boomer looks like he's trying to get into position as well. I don't really know what the Infected are going to be able to do here, because they're kind of fragmented. The Smoker did miss his shot, so they do know that, you know, they have a Smoker out and that he's in the area. So it's going to be interesting. Double boom goes out onto Coach and Rochelle. Coach jumps down. Hunter goes in, lands on Rochelle, does a good amount of damage. Boomer goes down, gets a quad boom there. Good shot. Spitter goes out, hits the car alarm. Amazing first play from Navi right there. Very, very good job. Does a good amount of damage. Well, actually, not a whole lot of damage there, but a very good job distracting and disorienting them and getting that car alarm off. That's very good.
Yep, the spawns were pretty staggered there. A lot of disorganization on the Infected side. Again, this is an add-on campaign. Not everyone, I mean, things aren't quite as planned out. People don't know this map super well, despite all the scrimming you can try to do in preparation for this match. So Survivor's going to push on through this bridge area. There is a death charge area, but they took that fairly well. We do have a jockey coming on the back, similar to what the Infected did on the last round. That Hunter gets defeated, jockey gets shut down. I mean, we still got a Boomer and a Hunter waiting in the wings, but Thinking is showing a little bit of weakness, I would say, in terms of their Infected play. They're not really spawning, you know, as organized as you would expect based on their Survivor.
Yeah, absolutely. They are, as you said earlier, they are very fragmented in these spawns. They just seem to be spawning in whenever they're available. And right now we're going to have a Spitter and a Smoker and a Hunter coming out with one more Infected ready to spawn. Looks like they're going to try and spawn over near the warehouse and just set up for an attack in there as the Survivors continue to push forward and clear out more common.
Yeah, this Witch is in a pretty good position for the Infected. It very nearly inked Ellis when Thinking had to deal with this Witch. We're going to see if they can put something together here. They do have a Jockey and a Smoker and a Hunter, all of which are very good for disrupting any kind of round. They're going to break down that, open that door. Coach is going to aggro that witch. We do have all the on me minus the jockey. The witch is going to make her way out of this building, running down the stairs, chipping her down. Smoker goes in, but Coach does manage to get the crown just before getting pulled. Very nicely done by Nevermore. That is another witch taken out without issue.
Yeah, again, both these teams seem to have handled the witch very well, even though they were in a pretty bad spawn for the survivors to deal with. I think aggroing the witch and getting her out into a more open area was the right move, and they handled the attack from the infected really well. The tank's going to be coming out right here as the infected are able to spawn in. We've got a charger, smoker, and jockey ready to come and help him. Tank's moving into position, and we'll take it to a war room to see what happens.
Absolutely, this is the thinking take in the hands of Rain.
Hydra?
What?
You and Mobile? I mean, Discord?
I'm right here.
Oh. I thought you disconnected. Okay,
Get the guys on
Should
top.
I get the boom?
Okay, hold on.
Never mind. Just keep.
I think boom was a good idea in this area. She won't have to commit. Just commit with just 2 support now. No, you got it. Oh. What's up? What's up?
Stay down. I'm good. Get me out. You doing fine.
Okay, and that was the tank's play from Thinking. I thought that was very strong. Again, they did manage to get a single in cap onto Nick. He is going to be low on health, but he's going to be getting some pills, so he's going to be able to move a little faster. But overall, yeah, very strong attack. I thought that the infected, while again a little fragmented, a little staggered in their spawns, did work well, and they're going to be having a good chance to do a bit more damage as they move forward on this highway. We've got a smoker. Ooh, Boomer goes in, tries to get something, doesn't land anything. Spitter goes in, does a bit of damage onto Coach as he struggles to get out of the car park. But overall, not a very strong attack there, and Survivors are going to move forward.
Yeah, slightly disorganized hit once again coming out from Thinking. I think the Survivors should be able to take this no-return drop without any threat of separation. Coach is going way far ahead scouting, clearing out these commons. I mean, that tank fight, almost identical amount of damage, I would say, to the Navi tank on their side. Only one survivor in caps. They did have 3 kills, although they had to use one of them immediately. One last hit coming out. Trump is jumping around, trying to hold onto Rochelle, getting chipped out of the fair amount. Jockey lands on the Coach. Charger hits... Oh my god, Charger hits Nick, and a triple boom going out. Coach is still separated. No one is clearing him. Rochelle trying to chase him down. That's a great amount of damage. Putty almost in-capped. Nevermore in the yellow. He's going to put thinking just into a bit of a lead here.
Yeah, very good play from Thinking there. I thought that was a great final attack. They did a good amount of damage there. The Boomer, triple boom coming out, that was very, very powerful, and that really helped them solidify this lead. Maybe, we'll have to see when the points come out. Oh no. Well, yeah, no, they did take the lead. So Navi coming in with 977 points compared to 1,273 from Thinking. And yeah, overall, very, trading blows with each other, nothing too stand out. Good tank attack. They handled the witch pretty well, both teams. And it's really going to come down to how they handle the next map. With this map, they're going to be going through a sort of power grid, and they're going to have to play through a very unique crescendo event where they have to shut off the power. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Survivor team handles that crescendo event as we begin this first attack with, again, a Smoker, Charger, Jockey, Boomer going out. Looks like they're kind of split apart right now. This might be an interesting attack. Boomer close up by a van, and we've got the Smoker hiding behind the fence, along with the Charger hiding behind the van with the Boomer. Let's see what happens here. Survivors are going to start to push out very slowly. Jockey pre-spawns over by the bus. Boomer pre-spawns as well. They know he's by the van. Jockey goes in for an attack. Smoker goes in, misses the shot. Jockey lands on Rochelle, gets a triple boom onto 3 survivors. Charger might go in for an attack there. No, he misses his attack, but very good first play from that Boomer, I felt. Rochelle pushing forward, trying to, get away from all those common infected, and the survivors are going to push forward off this highway.
I'll be showing a little bit of impatience with that first hit. Their spawns. A Jockey spawned immediately as soon as that door opened. Excuse me. And their spawns were pretty staggered. We can see a bit of impatience, thinking they did that out pretty well. And it is worth mentioning that that is a pretty terrible first spawn for a map. The infected typically don't have a lot to do there, although we do have a Jockey, Smoker, Boomer, Hunter for this next hit with this gas station. Looks like thinking of going to try and bait this out inside. Interesting call, given that the risk of a spit charge here is pretty massive, although of course they don't know that. I'm betting that they are still showing a little bit of caution because this is a fairly early tank. They don't want to take any damage before they have to fight that. If they fight it out here, there are so many hittables for this tank to use. This area can become really dangerous really fast.
Absolutely. As this first infected attack goes out, Boomer goes out onto Coach. Jockey trying to land a hit. He gets taken out right now. Looks like Common swarming around Coach right now. And will we see the tank spawn in soon? That'll be the question here. They're starting to push forward, Survivor Team, towards the truck depot. And they're going to be pushing forward. Again, not a super coordinated attack there. They didn't do a whole bunch of damage there.
Yeah, Thinking took that first hit really well. They're going to push up here forward. Looks like they are going to have to do with one last hit. Coach is going to get pulled in the back. No one covering him. Smoker does get cleared immediately. We've got a Hunter going in for a last second. M2's onto Rochelle. Gets killed. I'm going to apologize right now to the stream. I'm having some sort of Wi-Fi or Discord issues. I'm going to kick this over to a war room for Nevermore, and I'm going to take this opportunity to restart my router and see if that fixes them. For now, Technobeaver will be handling.
Of course.
Go back.
He's back.
Go. Watch
Here,
it.
just watch me, watch me, watch me.
Watch out, hit right here.
Okay,
Hit in the room. Okay, not really. They're gonna hit outside. Watch. Boomer.
Go all the way.
Boomer. Watch Boomer.
Watch it.
Clear Common.
Reloading.
Okay, remember, this car's not a hittable, where Nick is.
It's not hittable?
No.
it's not. Dumpster.
Dumpster's at a place. That dumpster is in a pretty decent spot.
So is that correct? We're all huddled up here.
I'm blocking spawn back here.
He's in.
He's in.
Oh no, me. Guys, you gotta be shooting tank. You cannot be leaving tank like that.
We're fine.
Kill him.
I'm gonna surround him.
Need some help.
Come on your feet.
Beautiful. Let's go.
Nice. Good
I
job.
juked the shit out of him.
Okay, that... Okay. xbye, you take. Oh, okay, well, that was the good tank attack. He did manage to get a couple in caps there. Again, sorry for the inconvenience, Hollywood. But survivors are going to manage to push forward back over to the truck depot where they originally were. I think it was smart for them to move back, because that warehouse, I would not want to fight the tank in there either. There's a lot of throwables, a lot of things could go wrong in there, a lot of choke points for them as well. So I think it was smart to move back. They're leaving Rochelle behind right now, as she's getting attacked by commons, but infected are going to start to spawn in. We have a Charger, Hunter, Smoker, and Spitter ready to spawn in as the survivors move forward.
Survivors here making their way through here. Team thinking they have 4 sets of pills and 1 person bleeding right now. The infected are setting up with a 3-1 here. 3-1, not too favorable in this area here. I mean, sure, it's a bit of a choke point, but there's still a lot of room for the survivors to kind of jump on the rails, get away from the spit, and maybe avoid the infected here. 3-1 consisting of a charger, smoker, and spitter. Hunter going to be setting up from behind. Already pre-spawn, not making any noise with the smoker from behind, and the hunter. They're going to be coming from the back here with the charger getting shut down completely. That hunter does land onto Nick in the front here, but he is not health bonus.
Yeah, a very poor attack, I would say, coming out from Navi there. Survivors were able to deal with it very well. They managed to keep their heads cool, and they cleared off all the special immediately. And that'll be a good attack for the survivors there. Survivors starting to move their way outside of this truck depot right now. As the infected get into position for another attack, we have a charger, boomer, spitter, and jockey getting into position right now. This is a very close quarter area, so I'm really wondering, is the boomer going to do most of the work here? I would really like to see maybe a double or triple boom come out here, and then the other infected come out to just support him. But we'll have to see what happens here as they all get into position.
Here comes the charger leading in here. Not a good idea for the charger leading in, and then he actually stumbles. I'm not sure if that was part of his plan or not, but it did not work, and poor little jockey coming in from behind gets shut down, leaving nothing but a boomer here. This boomer, ideally, I would say if you're not going to land at least a triple boom with this boomer here, you might as well just completely sack it and not get anything, because if you get a double or a single boom right here, the rest of the survivors can just rush the rest of the event horde free. Looks like they're opting to save the entire, or the boomer here. He comes in, gets a single boom. This is not what Team Navi wants for this horde event.
Yeah, not a very good, strong attack from that boomer. The survivors are going to be able to clear through this crescendo event pretty easily as they move their way over to the switch to kill the power. This is a fairly straightforward crescendo event with only a few minor choke points here and there, so they should have no issue dealing with the common infected. But Smoker goes in, attacks Nick, aggroes the witch, but it gets crowned. That's going to be no damage from the witch. Charger goes in, lands on one person, Spitter goes in as well, hits Rochelle for a little bit of damage, she jumps out of the spit, and the Smoker gets shut down as well.
We can see that team thinking here. The survivors making their way through this crescendo event. Looks like they were hesitant to really push forward in that single boom simply because of the witch there. They handled the witch really well, but they took a lot of damage there by the infected. The infected taking advantage of that whole confusion after the witch died here. And remember that this wire right next to the this electrical wire here is very dangerous for the survivors, and probably the infected as well. I've never seen an infected actually touch it before, but it is definitely dangerous to survivors. They're now making their way to the alarm here, trying to shut off the power. This is going to make the area incredibly dark and very infected favor, because it's going to be very difficult to see in this darkness here.
Absolutely. Charger, Smoker, Jockey, and then one more about to spawn in, a Hunter. We'll have to see what happens here. This could be very favorable to the infected. We'll have to see what happens here. Are they going to use this darkness to their advantage to try and keep them in this position? Because once they get outside, they're going to be able to see again pretty easily. So right now, Nick just clearing off some common infected as normal. Other 3 survivors just making sure no infected try to get the jump on them right now as the infected get into position.
So we can see the survivors here. They are definitely doing some serious spawn blocking here. You can see even Rochelle just all the way off in the all the way up alone here in the middle. They do not want the infected to be spawning here. They're just waiting out the horde event. They're clearing off any kind of straggling common infected that the server is spawning for them before they make their way through the offices here. And the infected, obviously, they know they're not going to be getting too much done, and they actually have a 4 cap. They're going to go for this 4 cap here. They're going to pull into Rochelle. We got a double. Here, could it be the quad cap? Could it be the quad cap? And oh my god, Alice managed to not keep the hunter! Are you? Wow.
That's very good for Navi. They're even putting in some LOLs in the chat. They know that was good play. Very, very, very good play from Navi there. Shutting down all of the survivors' momentum, killing all of them. Great play for them. Thinking is only going to get 500 points there. So, I mean, if Navi can manage to get survivors to the safe room, I think they're going to be able to push forward and take the lead, even with, no health bonus. Jockey's going to spawn in on top of the RV, pre-spawns in, looking to just distract them, it appears. He lands onto Ellis, but doesn't do too much damage. Smoke grabs someone. Charger goes in for an attack, but misses his attack completely, and that's not a very good first play from Thinking there.
I believe so. Do I sound alright? Am I still lagging, or are we good?
Reloading! Watch out!
How do I do that?
I'm a reload. Reloading. Everybody be careful.
Because I don't have access to that command.
Reloading.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. So while they're dealing with the technical difficulties of Hollywood, we're going to be setting up for another infected attack here. They are going to be able to get one more infected attack in before the tank spawns over near the warehouse. And when that tank spawns in, I wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to go ahead and take it back towards the highway to deal with the tank attack? Or are they going to try and risk it and fight in the highway? Doesn't matter right now. Smoker goes in, manages to get boomed on Rochelle and smoked. She's taking a lot of damage. Double boom goes out right now. Hunter tries to grab something. Boomer's just running around smacking Nick, but doesn't manage to get any more boomed. And I think that was a pretty good play from Thinking there. Managed to get the double boom and distract the other teammates while Rochelle gets a bunch of damage taken from the smoker.
Reloading. Reloading.
So, okay. So the survivors are just going to continue pushing forward right now. Infected, still about to spawn in. The tank is going to be spawning in soon, so I think they're just going to be trying to trigger the tank to spawn and then run out. But again, we'll have to see. Maybe the infected will go for one more attack before they go for the spawn. We have a charger, a jockey, a boomer, and a hunter. Oh, tank is spawned in right now. Tank spawns in over on the catwalk, jumps down right now, goes in, looks like he's trying to commit. He takes a little bit of damage from the survivors. Infected team gets a double boom. Oh, and that's going to be an in-cap onto Nick right there, hopefully, or one survivor. Nick taking a bunch of damage from the common there. Hunter goes out, looking for an attack there. Tank continuing to punch people around. Tons of damage. Ellis gets hit by the Hunter. One teammate is down. Nick is down right now. Ellis gets back up, and looks like Rochelle's about to go down as well. Yep, that's a double down, and, you know, Tank just tries to throw a rock real quick, but doesn't manage to get it. That was a great tank attack there. It does a ton of damage. They tried to risk it. I don't think they were prepared for that attack in the warehouse. I think they thought it was going to spawn further out, or maybe outside the warehouse, and they would have time to get out of there. But something happened. Navi just didn't realize what was going on and managed to not Okay, Charger just runs away, I guess. That's fine. Alright, well, Rochelle, either way, all survivors up. That's going to be a lot of damage taken to Navi right now. They are hurting, and the pills are starting to dwindle, so we'll have to see what happens here. We do have a smoker hunter. Oh, he's good to go now? Okay,
yes,
I didn't realize.
I did one win up. That was a really messy tank fight by Navi. I think Techno's assessment was correct. I think the survivors were not expecting to spawn the tank where it did. Again, this is just another one of those symptoms of playing an add-on campaign. You're not exactly sure what percentage points, you know, translates to like physical location on the map. Like, do we go up the stairs? Can we take one more hit? Because we know they're ready, etc. As you mentioned, there are 3 pills for 2 bleeding survivors. This is all pre-horde. We do have a great 2-cap going on. Smoke pulling Nick and a Hunter landing onto Coach. So Nick gets clear the boat. So clear on Nick was disastrously slow. Have a lot of horde to deal with right now. And as I mentioned before, they still have this running event to do. In UMod, this horde event does not end, by the way. I'm not sure if we mentioned that earlier. But in some other competitive configs, you could just wait this horde event. You could just wait it out and then go and deactivate it. But you can't do that in this mod, which means that these survivors are going to have to run for it while they're bleeding, while they have only 2 pills, and while the infected are doing a great job from finding these.
Yeah, absolutely. Infected looks like they only have about 2 ready to spawn in right now. I think they're going to just try and wait. Well, actually, never mind. Spitter and Charger spawns in. Ooh, good Charger attack. Managed to do a little bit of damage, and the Spitter gets a spit. Will one of them go down? I wonder. No, none of them go down, but that was a lot of damage taken from the Spitter right there. And looks like the survivors are a little split apart right now, but they're going to be able to catch up together. No big deal. Looks like we have a Boomer and a Smoker ready to spawn in as the survivors trigger the crescendo event. They're going to be getting in position pretty soon.
Yeah, Navi, the desperation is starting to show. That was a very silly double charge. I don't think that really should have landed. Now, they are going to have to run this event. They're going to aggro this witch. Coach gets the crown just before getting pulled. Very nicely done. Lands on Ellis in the back. No one covering him. The jockey's looking Elastic can jump onto him as well. It does land, but also gets cleared. We have one Boomer looking for something to boom. Coach is already pushing way far ahead. I think Disco is planning to take matters into his own hands here. going to try and run forward to get to that that button to shut off this alarm. We do have a single boom landing onto Buddy. He is slow. There are no more pills for him. You know, I think the desperation is really starting to show. When you're this weak, you have this much map to get through, and you're good at horde events, I mean, things can start falling apart.
Absolutely, yeah. As you said, Ellis is extremely low on health, and he is still boomed on. Smoker grabs him, but it doesn't manage to do any damage to him as the commons continue to attack him. And I think at this point, all survivors are bunched up together. It looks like they're trying to keep him alive as long as possible. As we have a pause going out. Okay, well.
I would like to mention, I'm not sure if this came up in the last round, but that downed electrical line is nice clear going on the charger. That electric line is an insta kill. While it does not kill, it will incap you immediately. The infected can pull you over there, although the smoker is looking for a pull from the other side. Misses Nick, looks like he's going to try and go for it again, misses again. You know, avoid that power line. I was confident to see someone incap, I'm not going to lie. Smoker is going to last second pull onto Ellis, but cleared. Nick is going to push on through. They are so close to this button, but they've got to make sure they don't cut themselves here. Double boom posse going out onto Coach and Ellis in the back. Nick going down, free spin onto Coach. It's going to incap Coach and Ellis. Very impressive call.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good play from that spitter there. He managed to kill 2 survivors, well, incap them. And as the infected start to spawn in, the survivors are going to try and, you know, just get themselves back on their feet. They don't have any more pills, so their health is their health, and it's going to slowly get more and more down. So at this point, I would think the survivors are just going to try and rush as far out as possible, try and get, you know, just as much points as possible. Boom goes out, doesn't manage to get anyone though. Charger looks for a kill, doesn't manage anyone either. Jockey goes out into Rochelle along with a spit, but doesn't manage to do too much damage there as the survivors start to get split apart. Rochelle does go down from a common attack though.
Livermore just barely clinging to life here. They did go down to commons. That's going to give the infected a little bit more time for a hit. They do have an alarm car right here in front of them that they could try to make something happen with. Smoker and Boomer, those are both good for making something happen. Boomer's already looking for a spawn. Charger and Vincere are also ready to spawn up. Looks like the survivors are just going to barely make it past this alarm car. Or perhaps not. The Smoker jumps off the roof, pulls Ellis in the back, activating the alarm. Boom goes in, but stumbles the charger. No damage going out. Luckily for the survivors, I think they might just barely be able to make it into this building, but very much doubt them being able to make it safe.
Reloading.
Lots of small rooms with hallways.
Absolutely, this is looking really, really bad for Navi right now. They did, accidentally trigger the car alarm because of an infected. And, you know, with this type of health, it's you gotta wonder what's going through their head right now. Are they like, alright, forget it, just, you know, if you get attacked, we're just gonna leave you, or are they trying to stick together as much as possible to, you know, maximize their points? You have to wonder. As the infected start to spawn in, Ellis goes down, along with Spit. Jockey goes down as well. Nick goes down, and there's just 2 survivors up right now, and Rochelle is boomed on. And the Boomer looks like he's going in for another attack. That's all the survivors boomed on right now, and a Jockey looks like he's going to be looking for an attack real quick in a minute. Rochelle does try to get Nick up, but it might be too late if this Jockey can do something here. But Jockey takes Ellis out, or not Ellis, takes Coach out with a little swat of his hand, and that's just 2 survivors up because Rochelle did manage to get Coach. And look at that, they're abandoning him. They're saying, no, we need those points. We're going to try and go for the safe room.
Absolutely. At this point, it's just a question of distance points. It's not a question of bonus and trying to help their teammates. Nick's going to go down to a Hunt and Spit. Looks like pretty comparable distance points between the 2 teams. I'd like to apologize again for my voice connection issues. I don't really know what else to do at this point. These are the consequences of not playing with an Ethernet cable. So it looks like Technobeaver will be doing most of the talking this round, or this match, I should say.
Well, that should be just fine. Again, sorry you're having the issues. Hope you get that sorted out. But that round, I mean, Navi, they clung to life. They made it a lot further than I thought they would, and they were so close to that safe room. I'm surprised that, well, I'm not really surprised, frankly, because their health was so low. But at the same time, I am a little surprised that not one made it, because I thought they were gonna at least try and make it. What do you think is gonna happen this round, Hollywood?
I mean, there's got a 100-point difference between these 2 teams. It is razor thin, and this is a pretty long map, and it is worth mentioning that there is a very interesting horde event on this map. There are basically the storm wall, or whatever that is, the alarm thing. You have to set up in Death Bowl. They basically have to do that twice. There's going to be 2 alarms and 2 hordes going out. You do have double hunters going out onto Alice. One man's onto Alice gets cleared from the spit. He's going to jump out of there. Be a nice hit going up. There's also not a lot of potential when you've got those kind of spawns in this area. We have a boomer looking for a last second R boom, but he does get cleared. Very nicely done.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a very good first play from Thinking. They did take a bit of damage, especially Nick there. He's already down to almost 75% health. But other than that, very good job from Thinking. They managed to deal with the special infected spawns pretty well. And as you were saying about those crescendo events, there is a very unique one with a double storm wall coming up very shortly, actually, along with the tank, only at 34%. So I wonder, are the infected going to go for one last attack before the tank? It looks like that, but the Hunter gets skeeted. But another jockey comes out. Hunter goes out as well. Nick's going to take more damage from that jockey.
We do now have the tank up for Team Navi in the hands of Team Captain Disco. Looks like he's going to be going in with this. We're going to take this over to an infected.
Yeah, I don't.
You can land that boom, bro.
Yeah, maybe. Hold up. If I go, Hydra goes back a little bit. Move, bitch.
Me?
No, coach.
I'm gonna go in then, right? You can get that boom, yeah?
You have to push him this way, then yeah, I can get it.
Alright, I'm gonna take a shitload of damage going in, holy fuck.
I believe in you.
I believe, my guy.
I'll throw one more rock and then I'm going in.
Alright.
Ready?
Nice.
Hold on. Go in, buddy.
Yo, this tank looks AIDS. Oh my god.
That's a lot of damage.
Good damage. Yeah, good damage.
Alright, that was a good tank play. I'm very impressed. The jockey there, with the support coming in, they managed to take Nick all the way around the corner outside of that room they were holding up in. Spitter and a Smoker goes out. They're trying to slow down this revive as much as possible, and the Smoker's going to do a bit of damage onto Ellis there, but in the end, that's what's going to happen. They're leaving Nick up over by the railing over here to just hang out while they go revive the teammate. Triple boom goes out right now. Looks like the survivors are going to have to try and deal with these commons before they can get the revive up. But anyways, after this area, there's a very important depth charge coming up right past this staircase with the railing broken. So it's going to be very interesting. If they get a charger or a jockey, they could play something very dangerous, and Navi could become a very serious threat here, taking out almost a wipe potentially if they can play it smart. But looks like they are not going to utilize that death charge at all as the survivors move forward to this crescendo event, the double storm wall from Death Toll. Looks like they're going to activate the first one as the infected start to spawn in.
Looks like they're going to take this ornament right out here. I personally don't agree with that call. I much prefer to take that inside back where they just came from, because there is a fear of a death charge coming out. We do have a Hunter landing in spit on to Coach. It's going to be a ton of damage to him. He may well get impact. No, Hydra clings to life with just 1 HP. Got a Smoker looking for some scratches on Coach help, but gets cleared. I'm thinking right now they don't even have a leg to stand on. Once again, I think this is going to be a wipe before they can make the safe room. It is once again become a question of just how far can they make it through this map.
Absolutely. I mean, no pills, very low on health, all of them. The tank attack really did a number on them. I don't think they were prepared to handle that. I think they thought it was going to go a lot differently, and the support the tank had was just very exceptional. Jockey, all 3 infected, triple in cap. What is happening? Oh my god, that's the wipe. That's the wipe. It's over. No, Thinking goes down. That is it.
My lord. That charger went full Raging Bull. Didn't even charge, just rocked around, scratched 2 survivors down. That was, honestly, that was just hilarious to watch.
That was really. I mean, when they're that low on health, I guess you don't even need to land those attacks. You can just go for the swings.
Catch these hands, my goodness.
Absolutely. Well, Navi is now the survivors, and you have to wonder what's going through their heads, because they handled Infected Team really well. I wonder if they're worried about thinking being the Infected now, and I really wonder what their strategy is going to be for dealing with this tank, because they saw how dangerous that tank is in that room, especially with the right support.
Absolutely. I would say that thinking based on maps 1 and 2, thinking I would have said we're the superior survivor team. That does throw into question, can Navi make some kind of turnaround? Because, I mean, these teams are close, but I would say there is just a bit of a difference between the survivor and Infected. I think thinking is much more survivor-oriented than Navi, but we're going to see if Navi can put something together. I think it's all going to come down to that tank. We've got an immediate skeet going out. One of the hunters, the second hunter's going to try and jump in, also gets skeeted, he spits onto nothing. It does land a single boom onto Rochelle. That's a hit mostly shut down.
Absolutely, yeah. Rochelle had to get split up there because of that spitter, and the boomer does get taken out there by Coach, it appears, as the survivors start to move forward down this map. Now, with this map, again, you did notice the crescendo event, the double storm wall, and after this tank event, you know, it's just going to be a matter of can they manage to survive through waiting, you know, because those spawns with the Infected are going to be so important. But either way, we do have the Infected gearing up for another attack with a Hunter, Charger, Jockey, and another Hunter. They're gearing up in this little middle room, and we'll have to see what happens here. Looks like they're trying to take this very slow. Navi moving out slowly. Hunter and Jockey go in. Hunter, double Hunter going out. Jockey, 3 Hunters. Look at that. I mean, the triple attack there. You can't... That was very great. Very great from thinking there.
This is something I've noticed earlier in the map. Disco has had a habit in the last 2 maps as well as this one. He has a bit of an unfortunate habit of just running ahead and trying to clear things and block spawns by himself, and it has cost his team more than once. Those kind of mistakes you can't afford to be making on this map alone. Regardless, we do have the hands for thinking in the hands of M. We are going to kick this over to an Infected war room the moment she goes in. Looks like they're just waiting on some support for this tank. We've got a Charger, Smoker, Boomer. Pretty nice spawns for this area, but it looks like Navi are going to take this in the same room as Thinking did. They were survivors. That's a questionable call. Looks like they're going to sack that Smoker. Still waiting on what the tank is planning to do here. I would not personally choose to fight this tank in here, but we're going to see if Navi knows better than I do in terms of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just have to wait and see here. It looks like Nick is trying to venture forth, see what's happening with this tank right now. Maybe clear a couple spawns, prevent some Infected from spawning in, as the other 3 survivors just play, you know, blocking right now. Tank goes in. Looks like we should kick it over to a war room.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Go in. Hopper.
Think.
Very quick tank attack going out. That did not last very long, but they did manage to get a single in cap. Not as well as Navi was able to do there with the double in cap and then slowing them down, pushing them back down the map. But, you know, 1 in cap is better than none, and the survivors are going to be able to start moving over to the crescendo event. They are going to start it up as a Spitter, Smoker, Boomer, and Jockey begin to spawn in. Boomer goes in, gets a double boom there. Looks like the Boomer jumps down. He gets the triple boom. Spitter goes in as well, just trying to clear them out of the corner. Jockey shoves Rochelle into the spit. That's going to be a ton of damage after the comment continued to attack her. She gets cleared, but I mean, that's a ton of damage right there. She's got no pills and she's bleeding out as the other 3 survivors are puked on.
Pretty disappointing. Navi handled that tank, I would say, extremely well, but they did slip up just a little bit during this first crescendo event. They've got 1 pill left for a yellow survivor and 2 bleeders, holding the majority of the health bonus. Although it is worth mentioning, however, that I would say they are doing just a bit better than Nathan was. I think they have a great opportunity to get some kind of a lead if they can get through the second crescendo and get to the alarm clock. We do have a charge going on with him. Single boom landing onto Coach, I believe. 3 spit, nothing. Navi are still handling this pretty well, and I think King is showing a little bit of weakness, a little bit of desperation after having mostly flubbed that single.
Absolutely, and Rochelle is very lucky she did not take any damage from that spitter attack. That was basically right on her tippy toes. But either way, Navi is going to be able to get to this second crescendo event, no problem. They handled it extremely well as the Infected begin to get ready for another attack. We do have a Smoker, Hunter, Jockey, and charger, so a quad in cap ready here as they gear up. They go in for the attack. Smoker lands on Nick, manages to do a bit of damage, but he gets cleared off. Smoker just begins to run away, trying to save his life, as the other infected do get cleared pretty easily. Yeah, not a very strong attack from Thinking again. You know, they're geared up, they're ready to go, but when it comes down to execution, they just can't land these attacks.
This is sort of what I was afraid of. I mentioned this before. Thinking don't seem to be super prepared when it looks like this was going to go for that witch, but immediately turn or very ballsy call, but it pays off for him. He finds the witch and looks like the survivors are going to push on through here, through this building in the middle of this car line. We've got the jockey spawn in the back, but it looks like not going to want to get in there. We do have a spear boomer and a smoker ready. Not great spawns for this area. They need some kind of charger or something, otherwise Thinking cannot field in. Jockey does not coach just for a second, gets immediately cleared. It goes out. Ellis almost gets pulled into the skip, everything cleared. Navi are kind of running away with this lead right now. I'm sorry. You can't let them get a lead on the map this big.
Absolutely. I mean, Navi already, the map's about 75% over, and they're already about 100 points ahead in the lead. They are going to jump out the window, take a little bit of damage as they jump out, but, you know, they're taking the shortcut, and I think that's the wise move to make when you're this close to the safe room. You just want to secure as much of a bonus as you can. As the double hunters go out, looking for some sort of attack, they're jumping all over the place. They do manage one attack. They land both, but don't do a ton of damage. The Spitter goes out and manages to in-cap Nick there. So, I mean, good play from the Spitter and Hunter there. But overall, I mean, that was about it. The survivors handled that pretty well. They were able to counter-attack and adapt to the situation and handle it pretty well.
Yeah, I think made a pretty bad call ignoring this alarm card that the survivors have just passed. That personally would have been my decision on where to take this attack. Regardless, looks like they're going to get one last chance to try to wipe these survivors before they make the safe. We're going to try to do more Hunter Smoker. Hunter, and Smoker all go in. Hunter and Smoker hit the same target. That Charger's going to go in. Chest bump, two survivors. Big misplay. That Charger, the Smoker gets a brief pull onto Rochelle. Cleared. Looks like that's going to be the last hit for the infected. We do have a bit of horde coming up, but I don't expect it to cause any major problems for the survivors. Although Disco, Dead Boy, and Evermore are all extremely slow, and it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Nick and Coach appear to be stuck. They're stuck on top of that car. Maybe that chest bump was actually just a brilliant play by the infected, or just a symptom of L4D2, a 9-year-old game and an unofficial campaign. Looks like Nick is going to be managed to get it out of there, and Coach has also managed to get out of there. Not sure what the deal was. Were they actually stuck, or were they just memeing? I'm not really sure.
Well, you know, that's what happens with brotherly love. You know, you just love each other too much. You know, you can't get away from each other. But either way, you know, one more survivor does go down. Rochelle apparently goes down right in the safe room from a common, it appears. Another in-cap. Them getting stuck completely ruined them. They could have made it into the safe room, no issue there, but they got to spend all this time reviving people now because they got stuck. The Spitter's going to try and delay the safe room, but it's too late. They all make it in. They did manage to wear down that health bonus a little bit because they got stuck a bit. But, you know, in the end, Navi did incredibly well, taking the lead by 600 points here. This final map is going to be extremely important. And again, this is the finale. This campaign only does have 4 maps in it. So, you know, it comes down to this.
Absolutely. This is a 4-map campaign, which means that 600 points are that much more valuable.
Round is live now with a Hunter, Boomer, Smoker, and another Hunter coming out. The Survivor's just going to be taking it slow. You know, it's Navi. They do what they do. They are going to start to spawn up top, on top of this little second floor area as the Survivors begin to clear common away. You know, just... Oh, okay, that door got broken really fast.
Very strange call going out, but looks like Thinking are going to take the hit outside this area instead of in the patio. We've got a Hunter, Boomer, Smoker, and a Hunter, I believe. No spit, so probably the right call to come out here. These spawns are really staggered, very disorganized. We've got a pull and a pounce very briefly gets cleared. A single boom landing onto Rochelle. This is exactly what I was talking about. I don't see Thinking putting together a wipe on this map of all places, but I mean, we still have a finale to get through, and finales are notorious for making some really crazy plays happen.
Absolutely. What you were saying about Thinking before, we were both interrupted from that weird sound, but what I was saying was I think them starting out as infected is going to hurt them even more when they go as survivors, because, you know, Thinking they are stronger on survivor side, and them having to deal with the infected, they're not going to be able to, or they are going to be able to know how to handle the infected attacks. But either way, Spitter goes out right here. Looks like the Spitter's going to try and block them off. That was the right call to make there. He's going to have to slow them down a bit. Navi slowed down. They're trying to wallbang the jockey, it appears, but the jockey just runs away to save his health.
Yeah, they had the right idea with the pounce and jockey in the spit. That could have been a massive amount of damage onto Disco. But once again, we just see the coordination just isn't quite good enough for thinking to make this amount of damage. Disco was able to M2 that jockey and run out of that spit. And, you know, other than the Spitter trying to delay them just a bit with her Death Puddle, there's not a whole lot of damage to speak of for these first amount of hits. Regardless, they do have a hole here. This is a pretty big opportunity for the Infected if they can get a great amount of separation.
Absolutely, yeah. If they can manage to get one or maybe even two survivors down that hole, they could split up Navi and have a chance to potentially get a wipe or a couple end caps here. It looks like the survivors may be a little staggered here. They are starting to get back together, and it looks like they're getting ready to jump down this hole. But I think they know that once they jump down, it's going to become a mess with survivors or infected starting to spawn in. Double boom goes in. Smoker trying to drag someone but doesn't manage. Hunter goes in, attacks Nick, and another Smoker goes in, tries to get coach, but nothing really happens here. And this is just thinking again with the weak attacks. I mean, this whole map is very close quarters, so, you know, once we get to that witch and that tank, I think Thinking will have a much easier time dealing with killing off these survivors. But until then, I think they're not going to really be able to do a whole lot of damage without that support from the two main special infected, the witch and the tank.
Yeah, Navi showing a ton of patience taking that hole. They were so careful not to get separated. I think they knew that Thinking was trying to go for that separation like I was theorizing earlier, and it paid off for them. They didn't get the separation. Thinking once again missing a big opportunity, but they do still have, I think that it's all going to come down to this tank, if that tank can wipe. Regardless, they do have a Boomer Jockey Spitter Charger here for this hit, but they're already showing a ton of disorganization. The Charger does manage to land, however, onto Disco into Spit. That's going to be a ton of damage. She is going to walk out of there, but he is in the yellow. That's a start. You know, this is exactly what they need. This Boomer's going to walk it in, try and proxy them, and get a little bit more delay going out. But Navi are still going to push on through. The coordination, the patience, you know, every single choke they're taking so carefully. It is worth mentioning that I think Navi was the team that was screaming this map, I think, like non-stop last week, and I think it's really paying off here. You can see the level of dedication here is on another level.
Absolutely. The survivors are starting to make their way up to the construction area. This could be a great place for a death charge, and that's exactly what happens with one of the survivors getting killed. That's Coach down for the count. Great. And another one. Rochelle gets taken out by a jockey in cap. They're going to have to get her pulled up, but the Spitter is just delaying that so much. That was a beautiful charger attack. I knew that was going to happen. I'm so happy that happened. And the tank spawns in too. So that just makes this whole situation a lot worse with the close quarters and the open walls. We'll have to see what happens here as we take it into a war room.
Absolutely incredible death charge going on onto the team captain of Navi, no less. Disco is dead. I mentioned this earlier in the match. He repeatedly would push on ahead without his team, and Thinking was finally able to make it pay for it. This tank is going to go right in. We're going to go into war room right now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm down. Okay.
I'm down. Really want to lend me a hand here?
That long arm, holy fuck.
Nice, good job. Good team.
Yeah, good shit. Good charge, too.
Thanks.
Get out!
No.
We can still do this.
Yes, we can.
We need to start taking these hallways slowly and start reading a lot.
And we are back. That was the tank in the hands of Hydro, I believe, securing the wipe onto Navi. That is exactly what Thinking needed. They're back in this right when it seemed as though things were really starting to slip away for them. I think they do still have an opportunity to make this map with you? Yes, they do.
I think they are going to have an easier time dealing with this map now that they've played as Infected first. They know the strats, they know where the spawns are going to be. They have a general good idea of how the Infected are going to think here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here when they get to that tank with Putty, excuse me, playing as the tank for this map. So we'll have to see what happens when they get up there. But I mean, if Thinking can get to the helicopter, I think they'll have a chance of winning. But you know, it's going to be hard getting there.
Absolutely. We have to remember not to get too excited with ourselves. They do still have, I think, 1,000 points to make up for. That's a lot of distance, and they are going to have to deal with that same death charge area that Disco had to deal with, and the tank. But as I mentioned before, I think Thinking is just a much more survivor-oriented team. If I were Navi, I'd be pretty nervous. I mean, 1,000 points is great and all, but they're in their element now. Thinking is the better survivor team, and we're seeing that go out right now, although that hunter does manage to land on the coach just for a second. Very minimal damage going out for this first hit. Looks like they're going to go with 2 pumps, 2 Uzis. Interesting configuration for this map. I would have gone all shotties for this running event. Regardless, Thinking are going to push on through. And now it's Navi's turn to try and regain their composure if they want to seal the deal and get a wipe before Thinking manages to pull a victory from the jaws of defeat.
Absolutely, yeah. As the Infected begin to start and get in position, we do have a Boomer, a Jockey, a Spitter, and a Hunter coming out here. So we'll have to see what happens. It looks like they're trying to set up in this back area. Looks like they're all going to strike as one. Never mind, Jockey goes to take a flank route. They are going to push in. Jockey goes in, gets a triple boom, quad boom. Never mind. Jockey, Boomer gets blown up there. So beautiful shot there. Spitter goes out, just trying to delay them. Rochelle in the corner, stuck in the Spitter goo with Commons attacking her. She's stuck in that little corner. She can't move anywhere. Very, very good play. I think the survivors handled that excellently. I mean, they did take a bunch of damage there, especially Coach, who's... well, never mind. He just took some pills, apparently, but he was at half health there for a second. You know, I think that hurts. And they all are able to all get down the hole with no issue because they weren't able to spawn in as fast.
Yep, no waiting needed for Thinking. They took that hole immediately, not even giving the Infected a chance to try and get a last-minute smoker pull. This is exactly what I was saying. Thinking is so much better suited for this running event, and Navi had the right idea with that last hit, you know, pound spits and a Boomer in the back to push them into the spit, but Thinking, you know, they kept their cool. They were able to push those Infected around and not let them force them into positions that they wanted. Regardless, we do have a Charger, Hunter, Smoker, and a Boomer here for a second hole. This is a good opportunity for a reset if they can get a single boom going out onto Rochelle. Smoker and Charger are going for it. Hunter goes in, and Charger lands a double charge. Rochelle is going to be able to clear that Charger. Hunter gets cleared. That's a nice amount of damage, but all the survivors are still in the green, and they're not going to be slowed down by this horde whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I mean, Navi, they tried their hardest there, but Thinking that survivor play, I mean, as you said earlier, they are the better survivor team, and it shows there. With Coach leading the way right now, just clearing off these common. Looks like the Jockey's going to try and get Coach as he pushes forward, but the survivors come to back him up. Looks like we have a Jockey, Spitter, Smoker, and Boomer getting ready to spawn in. Jockey goes in, lands on, gets a Spitter and a double boom there. Looks like Coach is stuck in the corner here as the Boomer goes in and explodes right on him. And the survivors are split apart right now. If there were another Infected up, this would be the perfect time to strike on Coach.
Yep, another attempt at a Boomer push into the spit. You know, I don't want to repeat myself, but again, Navi had the right idea, but Thinking are just that much more coordinated. They're that much better at covering each other. And unlike Disco, I would say Hydro, I think, is the more conscious team captain. He pushes ahead because he knows he's the better player, but he doesn't let his team get ahead of him. And they are going to take this death charge area without incident. They're going to spawn up this tank. The Hunter is going to land onto Nick for a second, get cleared. That Charger is going to charge Nick into spit, and the Jockey is going to get shut down immediately. That's a nice amount of damage onto Rain. He's going to have to take those pills for this tank. The tank is now in the hands of Putty, and he has a lot of work to do if they plan on, you know, finishing off Thinking, because I think it all comes down to this. If they don't wipe with this tank, I don't see a wipe coming out at all.
Yeah, absolutely. The tank looks like he's just playing it slow right now, pushing down slowly, waiting for the support. As you saw, Disco was the Charger, getting some damage out onto Nick. I kind of wanted to see him get a death charge there just as a sort of revenge hit. Boomer goes out, gets a single boom. Looks like this might be the support and the distraction they need, but the tank is still just waiting for the right moment to strike there. I think this is the right move from Navi, making sure they're all ready to go. Perfect. Nothing could go wrong here, and you know, they're just waiting for the right moment to strike.
Absolutely, you don't need a horde in this area. You need cappers for this tank. That tank's going to go right in. We're going to take this over to a war room right now.
On your punches. We gotta help him. We gotta help him.
Fuck.
That's good damage.
We gotta lower that bonus.
And we are back. That was a tank in the hands of Putty. He was able to get a lot of damage out in capping rain. He's going to go down again. I'm not sure if he's black and white. Unfortunately, I haven't been keeping count. Regardless, there are no pills left for thinking. But M is still sitting on a great amount of bonus right now. And they're going to push on through this event. I don't want to say this may be over, but I very well think it may be. I mean, there's a ton of horde going out to slow them down, but I think Thinking is in a great spot right now to take the lead. They've still got about 500 points left to go. They just might make it. I don't want to get too excited, but they just might make it. Regardless, Rain is down to exactly 1 HP. He is black and white. He's going to push on through, get as much distance as he can. No, he was not black and white. My outlines lied to me. I apologize for that. Looks like Ellis and Rochelle are going to cover while Coach tries to get him up. Triple boom going out. Almost a death turret going out onto Rochelle. That's a real heartbreaker. We have a ton of damage going on. I think this may be the end for Thinking. This was such a Cinderella story, and I think it may very well be over. The team captain is the last man standing. He's going to try and get his teammates up, but we have way too many people down, and this horde, for some reason, is staying where it is. They're not moving. Hydra does manage to get Rochelle up. M is now standing, covering forward, but we do have a smoker looking for a last-second pull in the back. Hydra playing so smart. He's covering every single angle by himself. Very impressive play right now. We've got a smoker looking for a pull from the front. Rochelle is very separated. Hunter getting an M2. That's an in-cap onto Rochelle. Ellis has gotten jockeyed. No one's clearing him. A Hunter lands onto Nick. Looks like these are both going to be in-caps, and Hydra is standing on his very last legs, trying to clear his team. He does manage to clear Nick. He's going to try and go to get Rochelle, but they're both in-caps right in front of death chart spots. This is a really precarious position. They're so close right now. Almost 2,700 points, just 400 more points if they can just make it to this chopper with their survivors, but there are no pills. All the survivors are slow. They've got a massive amount of horde. Nick is dropping down by himself. Ellis and Rochelle are going to go too. Ellis and Coach covering each other. Very smart play. You don't want to get separated this last minute. Navi is looking for a last-second jockey separation. The jockey does go for Ellis, but gets M2'd and shut down. Boomer tries to climb up there and get a proxy. Gets M2'd back down the hole. Thinking are showing so much dedication right now, keeping their heads cool in the face of such a chaotic horde event. The Coach does go down. That is a wipe for Navi. They have secured the win against Thinking. Very close match. Super exciting to watch. I think Techno dropped out there for a second there, but he is back.
Well, I'm back. I am back. You know, I don't know what happened there. You know, Xfinity Wi-Fi. I guess it is my turn to have a technical difficulty, but I am back thanks to Verizon Wireless, America's #1 network, sponsored by Verizon Wireless. But no, I wasn't able to see the end of that game. I did see the survivors get taken out. I think they fell down the hole, if I'm correct. Some of them got knocked down the hole.
No, they did manage to take the hole, but unfortunately, Thinking there was just too much damage. There were no pills. They were all slow. I didn't want to sound too biased, but I was really rooting for them. I thought for a second they were going to pull it out, but there was just too much damage and too much horde, I would say. I think Navi may have lucked out a bit with the map they were playing. If this was on a different map, I think not Thinking could have taken it, but luckily the amount of horde and all of those enclosed spaces kind of saved them. It wasn't, any fantastic hits or anything, but that's just my opinion. Well, regardless, that was Thinking versus Navi. Navi securing the 2-0, a hard-fought game. This was very exciting to watch. I hope you all enjoyed it. I think Techno is having a bit more issues with his connection, perhaps. Regardless, for Thinking, it is not over. They are now 1-1. They still have an opportunity to make it to the knockout stage. As closing remarks, I'd like to thank MavWar, the TOs, for organizing this event, letting me cast despite my horrible connection issues. I'd like to thank Techno and xbye for covering for me when those issues got out of control. Once again, xbye is our streamer, very dedicated. I'd like to thank him. This was only Techno's second game, and he had to cast, I think solo for a second there, so that must have been rough. I'd like to thank both of them, and we will see you next time.
Absolutely. Great game, everybody. See you guys in game 15.